I heard it. It was just a... It looked like it was hugging the tree.
Sasquatch cover their tracks. I don't think they need to cover them. They're careful where they step. And if they're going through that thick huckleberry, it's a miracle sometimes when you actually come across one of these impressions.
So the only reason it would make such deep impression is if it was in a hurry to get out of there.
Deep in the forests of the Pacific Northwest, a team of researchers discovered what they believed to be Sasquatch nests. First discovered in 2015, the Olympic Project has been studying the nest area into present day, finding footprints, handprints, and collecting startling audio. To learn as much as I could about this incredible discovery, I visited the location in September of 2023 with Shane Corson and friend of the Olympic Project, Eddie Sanchez.
Let's peel out. Peel out?
Peel out.
No, let's not. Good. Chris can just pull straight forward.
Since we were waiting on a few others to arrive, our objective was to establish a camp for us to spend a few days in. The members of the Olympic Project have spent so much time in this area that they have code names for various campsites that they've used to study the nest site. They rotate through these campsites based on the time of year, accessibility, and the level of activity.
John Pickering, this is one of the coolest possessions I have. John Pickering, one of the most knowledgeable outdoorsmen as well, made this for me. And what's really cool, he's got my initials there, right? Knowing I'm from Scotland, our national flower is the thistle. He drew the thistle on there. Everywhere I go hiking, I take this stick with me.
Introducing Exter wallets. The first thing to know, their wallets are super thin, about half the size of a conventional wallet. But that doesn't mean they can't fit what you need. One of my favorite features is this little button here, which, when you press it, does this. Now I have instant access to all my cards. But the best part is that I don't have to worry about losing my wallet again. Thanks to this tracker that comes with the order, I can now see my wallet's exact location from my phone. Exter is having a Christmas sale, up to 50% off and a free gift bag with purchases over $90. And if you use our code, STMonsters, you'll get an additional 5% off. That's 55% off. But don't wait too long. Get the perfect Christmas gift now.
Oh gosh. Go for it. I'm gonna follow you now.
Hey, you said just walk, that's all I want.
Our first destination was a campsite near the original nest site, found in 2015, called Mouse Camp. I personally had a hand in the naming of Mouse Camp. In 2021, I visited the nest site for the first time, along with the rest of the Small Town Monsters crew, during the making of On the Trail of Bigfoot, The Discovery. For several days, Alex Pedikov and I camped at an unnamed campsite by the nests, with members of the Olympic Project. Due to the limited space and equipment, Alex and I shared a tent. One night, I went to sleep earlier than everyone else, and when Alex decided to go to bed, a mouse ran out of the tent, probably terrified that I had unknowingly trapped it inside the tent with me. That incident has led to Shane Corson sending me this image every year for my birthday. And since then, that campsite has been called Mouse Camp. Since no one had camped in Mouse Camp for some time, Shane, Eddie, and I were going to see the condition of the camp.
What are those?
Huckleberries. Evergreen, this is what the nests are made of. Right here. Nothing but huckleberry. Some are a little better taste than others. But I haven't been down here. I don't think I've been down here this year yet. Oh no, I guess I have. It's been a lot of months. Around the corner. Oh, nice.
I filmed that. You guys put in all these trails, right?
Well, we've been hiking in here that they kind of started. Yeah, they started to form a trail. Yeah, they're not usually any. You know, when these nest were found, there was no trail. It's all pure huckleberry thickness. Just imagine that without a trail.
Yeah.
And then some of the other animals have been using them too. You know, I mean, obviously this right here is a natural game trail you're standing on.
Yeah.
But like stuff like this was just us moving in and out of here over the years.
Our hike down to Mouse Camp seemed promising until disaster struck.
Oh shit! Just got stung. Hold on.
Oh. Back up. Quick.
Shane had inadvertently stepped into a wasp nest, and now we were being chased back up the hill by a swarm of angry wasps.
Well, we took one for the team.
Yeah, no kidding. I got.
Well, they're gonna start to develop. I just got here. I got one on the back of the head here somewhere, right in between. And then, I don't know. If your adrenaline gets going, I'll be feeling them in a minute.
I'm feeling mine.
Where'd he get you?
On the back of the leg.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
one, right?
Yeah, I see it clean.
Well, it was definitely, it had to be a ground nest. I was looking up.
There's a yellow jacket hiding here.
Yeah, well, it was not one of the same tribe.
No.
Yeah, that's
It's like, hey, dude.
what we got into, yellow jackets down there.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
I mean, better than bald-faced hornet.
Oh, I'd still be running.
I was in that mode.
Oh, I know, because I thought I was gonna get. They were landing on me. I'm swatting them off, but I was trying to see where they were coming from.
You're probably standing right in it.
Well,
Really
yeah.
close.
Well, I stopped because I had something hit my head, and I'm like, oh, I hope that was a horsefly. And then I looked down, and there's one stinging me here. There's one on my band here,
Attached to you.
and then I fell down the back of my head. I'm like, oh. That's, I don't know, it's like sting 30 this year, at least.
Well,
But that's why this time of year, they've been really bad. The hornets, the wasps. This time of year, it's hard to get in areas like this because you get attacked. And, you know, you don't not want to get stuck down in there with a hive of, you know, angry or
especially
nest.
when you have to go up,
Yeah, a nest. Oh, yeah.
or you want to go up.
Maybe you're tripping and falling, you get covered, you could be in trouble. Well, I'm trying to think. I thought we were in the clear. I kind of jinxed us there.
Yes, you did.
Oh no, hornet's nest yet. We got a camp called Fresh Camp. You guys will like that one. I think, what time has anybody got time?
It's
One. straight
one.
up.
Chris won't be here for another half hour. We have been down there a few times. So I don't think we're gonna run into any nests down there.
Yeah.
What kind of nest?
Well, yeah, I should say.
Not willing to brave any more potential wasp nests, Mouse Camp would have to wait for another trip.
Well, this actually I think is gonna work out a lot better. See, sometimes things are just meant to be.
We're going to Fresh Camp.
We're going to New Camp. Sorry, I kept calling it Fresh Camp. We're actually going to New Camp.
Wait, so you were wrong?
I'm never wrong. New camp, we've actually never stayed at new camp, but we made it a camp. So we're gonna be staying there for the first time.
Okay.
But it's right next to what we call Nest Area 1B. And Nest Area 1B is where we seem to have been lately getting a lot of unique and very interesting recordings. Percussives, vocals, and large things, entities walking by, you know, breaking huckleberries. So we haven't been down there in over a month, so it'll be kind of interesting to check out. There's our trail right there. I'm gonna pull up here. A few things in now. It's relative.
It's the man, the myth, the legend, Chris Spencer. Hey, what's up?
Not much.
Hope you're ready for this candid filming.
I'm ready.
Do you got a audio recorder strapped on the back of your head?
Yes, I do.
Wait, turn around so I can see it. Dang, look at that.
This is an Olympus LS7. They don't make them anymore. My favorite recorder.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
It has really good sound and it has more options for how you record. So it's a shame.
Yeah.
Should we just go in, set up camp, and then come back and do the audio and the camera pickup and all that?
Yeah, because we have plenty of, what time is it? Let me see. It is only 2:05. We got plenty of daylight.
Yeah, we'll set up camp. I want to scout it out anyways for places to put the thermals. And I'm guessing you're going to take the tree stand down tonight.
Yeah. Yeah, I got that in the back here. So it's going to be a couple of trips.
Yeah. Okay, we'll just get
I'm just going to take a...
all our camp stuff. I left my
Is that a
pack.
wasp again on me?
Yeah. I'm not going to hit it.
No, don't. I'll get stung again. Don't. Yep. Man. I'm getting tired of getting stung.
Yeah, this is relentless.
Chris was also joined by his partner, Rebecca Slick.
Hello, Rebecca.
Oh, hi.
So, hope you're ready for this candid filming.
Apparently not. That just scared me.
So what's new?
We're gonna be camping in a spot we haven't camped before, so that'll be interesting. Brought one of the ghillie suits too, so
Really?
yeah. Chris likes this one. I like this one.
You guys wear the ghillie suits for what?
Well, we've walked around before with our cameras. Just tried to see if we could see anything. But hoping to try it again. Because thankfully this color blends into the huckleberry really well.
Does it?
Oh, I'll have to show you some pictures. He took some pictures of me in the huckleberry and I had kind of disappeared in there.
Wow.
So it'll be fun. I'm glad you get to be here and see the area. It's been a while.
It has.
Having decided that this was where we were camping, we grabbed what we could and began the hike down.
You thought you were safe from the camera.
Oh, dang it, Eli.
There's a stump thingy there. Put right on top. Alright. That's good to know.
I'm thinking.
Alright, real quick. Just so you guys know, they found a ground nest, a hornet's nest, you know, a wasp. So don't walk over there.
All right.
Because you, like they said, vibrate the ground and could agitate them.
Start pouring out.
It'll be better this evening, but
What up, Spence?
What up? This is new camp. No one's ever camped here,
no one's ever came.
and we've wanted to camp here for a long time, and it's just never worked out.
Now we're
But
doing it.
the main ravines right down there, what we call fresh camp's not really a camp, but the finger that runs parallel to this finger at the very end of it is where the largest nest was found. It was like 8 by 5.5, almost 6. And I had a recorder there for 8 months last year.
Yeah.
And it consistently had activity around it. So, and where I'll take you later up to what we call NA1B, there's a recorder at the top of the ridge. Me and Wes were talking about it the other day, and 58 point 7% of all suspect sounds for the last 2 years has come from this general area. So
Do you think there's anything to that particular ridge?
it's just where they want. I think they're running the tops of the ridges and going in and out of the ravines, because that's all the audio shows. It's like when they figured out I had a recorder down at Fresh Camp in the thick of it, on a regular basis, September through October, someone was coming by and power knocking next to it, at least once a week. So, and of course we got suspect vocalizations in here, and they're not that far away. So there's something about this general area, and of course the original nests are just a finger or two over where the first 7 nests were found. So
In 2020, after Shane and Todd Hale discovered a new nest area in the process of being made, they placed out audio recorders to survey the area over the course of several weeks. Some of the unknown vocalizations recorded from February to March of 2020 are chilling. The audio shown here is presented with an accompanying spectrogram, which, simply put, is a visual representation of an audio spectrum. Scientists use spectrograms to analyze the different calls of birds and make note at which frequencies their calls are made at. In this way, the Olympic Project aims to discover more about the suspected Sasquatch vocalizations. In addition to vocalizations, Shane and Todd also recorded loud percussive noises, referred to in the Sasquatch community as knocks. The real highlight of audio recorded in 2020 was what the Olympic Project dubbed as singing. The only other time this singing vocal was recorded was in October of 2022. As for what that type of vocal could mean, the Olympic Project does not know. But the fact that this was recorded in the nest area by Shane and Todd set Chris Spencer on a new path.
So back in 2020, after Todd and Shane had walked in on a nest being built, Todd and Shane both recorded some really crazy audio in the nest area that week because they camped out there. And at the time, I'd been working my area. I called it X1 at the time, down by St. Helens. And I'd been steadily over the years constantly trying to upgrade my audio to capture as much as possible, because from the very beginning, I've always thought to really get an idea of what you're dealing with, you need to record as much as possible and learn everything in that area. Like, each area has its own sound, and I've said it multiple times before, you create a sound picture. You don't actually know an area really well until you've recorded it for months. X1, I felt like I was constantly discovering stuff, but I was always looking to get better audio, to get that sound picture, to learn every animal that's making noise at night. And when you learn all the species of animals that are making noise in your area, when the target subject's making noise, there's no doubt in your mind what it is. And so I had developed what I call LTRs. Back east, they call them LDRs. Same thing. It's a recorder with a time record function. And put it out. I always record dusk till dawn. So this is my other trial run with this setup. This battery is a Milwaukee rechargeable battery, same type you would use in an impact or a drill motor, but it has a USB adapter to it with an on-off that I've got hooked up. I've never tried this before. I'm not sure how long it's going to last, but I've got the recorder set to record from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. We'll see what happens. I've got the mics are running out of here. This is going to be a trial run. At the time in 2020, I was getting maybe 20 nights. Now, knowing what I know now, we can go about 40 nights in the summertime. It depends also weather, because the weather really saps your batteries. But so 2020 rolls around, and Shane, he's like, I really want to get one of your LTRs up here. And so we set up one. And I'd worked with Wes Liam from Squattrometrics several times, and me and him were talking one night, and he's like, we were talking about the owls. Whether I record a suspect sound or not, I like getting different species of owls, because virtually all the owls you get is barred owl. When I get a different owl, I get excited. So we were just talking about the owls, and he goes, we should just do a spreadsheet and log all the owls. And I'm like, well, why don't we do a spreadsheet and log everything? Everything from dusk till dawn that makes a noise, let's just log it all. And no idea what kind of a monster I was setting myself up for. He's like, yeah, let's do it. So in March of 2021, I officially put out 3 recorders in the nest area and started recording. We'd go up there, me, Shane, and Rebecca would have to go up there twice a month at least to keep up on the batteries and SD cards. And I would review everything in Spectrogram, log it all, and then put it in a spreadsheet and then send it to Wes. And we did that from March of 2021 to March of this year, 2023. 2021, we got 58% of all nights recorded, but 2022, we got 100% of all nights recorded after we added the Wildlife Acoustics SM4s, which are way better than my homemade recorders. I finished up the spreadsheet. Wes has it right now. He'll run the statistical analysis on it. It's a statistical analysis of every sound that I could identify. I have 3 categories: known sounds, which I identify the species and what kind of sound it's doing. And then we have ambiguous sounds, which are usually distant stuff that could be the target subjects, but I can't say absolute. And then we have unknown sounds, which I'm pretty sure is the target subjects, but because we didn't see the animal, we call it the unknown sounds. So actually nowhere in our report does it say Bigfoot or Sasquatch. It just says unknown sounds or ambiguous sounds.
Currently, on the Olympic Project website, there is a light report of the long-term audio project available for public viewing. In it is documented every species that was recorded during the project, as well as the exact number each time one was heard. There is still more work to be done before the full report can be released, but already this is shaping up to be a quality study, not only in Sasquatch research, but in wildlife studies as well.
But you know, overall, there's been a regular presence of, they're not like living here 24/7, but it's pretty much been consistent from 2021 till even through this year. You know, every 5 to 6 days, 4 to 6 days, there's suspect activity. So they're coming through here on a pretty regular basis, whatever they're doing. It kind of slows down in mid-November through January. It kind of slows down, but then there's a huge spike in activity in February, which coincides with when Shane and Derek think the original nests were made. They think they were made around February, and the nest that Shane and Todd found was in early March. So that spike in activity that I got on the audio for the past 2 years coincides with some of the hypotheses we've had about the area. So. Oh man.
What?
I found him. He's been in the back of my truck this entire time. Mother effer.
All this work for nothing.
Yes, all this work for nothing.
And there's Shane with his bow hunting gear.
I don't bow hunt.
You're gonna kill a Sasquatch with a crossbow?
I don't crossbow hunt, and no, I'm gonna go climb a tree in Therm.
With the rest of our gear gathered, we began the hike back, but we were making a pit stop along the way to a location known as NA1B. In order to keep his audio files organized, Chris has created code names for different areas where he places his recorders. The original nest site he named Nest Area 1, or NA1. There was a nearby pond he dubbed NA2, but nothing significant ever came of it, so he removed the audio recorder, instead turning his attention to NA1B, which was closer to the original nest site than NA2. Most of the suspected Sasquatch vocalizations have come from NA1B, most notably the one Chris refers to as Chimp Fit. Chris's long-term audio project began in March of 2021, and barely 2 months in, he recorded some of the strangest and unique vocals recorded by any Sasquatch researcher.
Chimp Fit occurred in the nest area in 2021, and what was interesting about Chimp Fit was Shane, Rebecca, and I had gone in to service the audio unit, and we were right above the original nest area, so we were in Nest Area 1. And I was on the ground messing with my LTR. I didn't have the SM4s yet, unfortunately. I wish I'd had an SM4 recording this, because the mics were going bad on that particular unit, so what we recorded doesn't sound that great, but it's still profound. I'm messing with the LTR, and Shane and Rebecca are looking down in the ravine this way. They're both looking in the same direction. He's like, "Do you hear that?" And Rebecca's like, "Yeah, I hear it. It sounds like people mumbling." They were hearing mumbling, like people in the ravine. And you've been there, Eli. It's deep down there, and there's no reason And we were the only people there. You know, we have the only key to the gate, and we're back there 2 miles, and they're hearing people mumbling in the ravine. And Shane's getting all weirded out by it. Just as I finish up, I stand up, and not from where they're hearing the mumbling, but up close, we hear, woo! And Shane's like, oh, that's gotta be pickers. And we were like, that's not pickers. There's no pickers this far back. And anyways, we go on our way. We're like, that's cool. That was, I can say that's the first time we were in there, and we'd been going in there for 2 months at that point in time on a regular basis. But that was the first time we heard something while we were there. Well, of course, yeah, a month goes by. I pick up the audio and review that night, and 12 hours later, the same vocal, woo, happens at like little after 10 p.m., 10:08 p.m. And I want to say it's a minute to 2 minutes after that vocal, and it's the exact same vocal that we heard in person in the morning. A minute after that vocal is Chimp, which is an escalation of whoops. A higher pitched individual just starts whooping, and they get building and building and building up, and they escalate into 2 screams. And then a lower voiced individual starts doing what I would describe as pant hoots like a chimpanzee, and it's just like ooh, 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 after the scream. And when you hear it, it's not canine, it's not deer or elk, or it's not recognizable about anything. You can't mistake it, because a lot of people get howls and stuff in the woods, and even whoops. Owls can make whoop-like sounds. Even dogs can make whoop-like sounds. This is hands down just primate. It is literally sounds like chimpanzees. And when I compared it, I went to the Macaulay Library of Sound, and I found chimpanzee vocalizations. And I went through a bunch of them, and there was a section of them where the description of them were chimps getting excited because they recognized their zookeepers coming to them, and they associated the zookeepers with food. And so these chimps were pant hooting, and in this case, the one that I picked to do a comparison with, it's actually on my YouTube channel, was a case where you had a female chimpanzee doing high pant hoots, and the male was underneath doing low pant hoots. Both of them escalated into screams. So you had a buildup of pant hoots by the chimps that built into these screams, that just explosion of screams. And when you look at it, the character and nature of the vocalization is almost exactly what happened in the nest area. I mean, the vocals are a little different because we don't have chimpanzees in the Northwest, but they're so similar in character and nature, it makes you have to pause. It's definitely whatever I recorded May 1st of 2021 in the nest area is primate. You can't mistake it. Even someone who's skeptical and doesn't believe that Bigfoot exists cannot listen to that audio and tell me that I'm mistaking an owl or a coyote. It is primate.
We'll go ahead and play our suspect vocalization with both of these chimpanzees' vocalization. They're not the same. I don't expect them to be the same, and I'm going to repeat myself a couple times. We don't have wild chimpanzees in the Pacific Northwest. This is the main focus, is what is the visual structure of these vocalizations. These are not visually owl or coyote. These are visually primate, in my opinion. When compared to a known primate, the chimpanzee, It's extremely similar. And it's something that should really be looked at by someone a lot smarter than me.
However poor the audio quality of Chimpfit is, the audio is still, as Chris said, profound. Due to the audio recorder failing after Chimpfit, Chris soon upgraded his equipment.
So we're going to deploy my new high dollar recorder. Sound quality is phenomenal. Compared to what I've been using, it's relative to watching a movie on VHS and then watching it on Blu-ray. The sound is just phenomenal. So we're going to set it up right here. This is Nest Area 1. This is the SM4. And I've got two 128 gig SD cards in it, recording in WAV format. Each card should get 37 nights at 10-hour nights. Turn it on. It's going to go to sleep until 2,000 hours, and then it'll record to 600 hours, which is basically 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. And that's all I got to do. I really like this thing. Bam.
Not long after the installation of the SM4, strange vocalizations began to be recorded, first in February of 2022. A few minutes following these sounds are what Chris refers to as snort grunts. More strange vocalizations were recorded in March. Even more were recorded in April. All of these sounds were recorded by Chris's SM4 in Nest Area 1B, and we were going to that location now to service the audio unit.
This is a full-size SM4, and I've painted it brown. That light turns green when it's on, and it still kind of shines a little bit, but we could get into that later. I'm pretty sure they're aware of a lot of my recorders after a period of time. But this is the Mini.
Maybe that's what
I've been using it, but I don't plan on being up here for a while. This only gets like 21 nights, whereas I can leave that out, and with the batteries, just the internal batteries, I've gotten up to like 58 nights with it. So I'd leave that for longer periods of time. Obviously, this is for shorter periods of time. And the other thing is, when I have a recorder out in the field for like 6 months, I like to bring it back inside and let it all dry out. Especially in the wintertime. Mics wear out really quick in the wintertime.
How come you've never set a trail camera in here if you think they're moving through?
There is a trail camera here. I'll show you in a minute. Now I gotta set it.
But it got close to that. It got close on one side of the desert.
Cool, it's running the right. I'm just checking the date and time, and it's right on time. Schedule, edit schedule. So it's set to start at 9. I'm gonna actually change that to. I'll change that to 7. 7 to 6. Let's see, start schedule time. Right. So it's gonna go to sleep and start up at 7 p.m. Had this set up.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know if it worked. We'll see if it's even got power. Oh wow. So yeah, it's still keeping right time. There's 3,362 photos on it.
Wow.
So it's been working. Hopefully they're consecutively, because sometimes it'll come on and it'll just take a couple and then it'll shut down. But no, that's cool. This has been working. I'm still gonna pull it, but I had it covering this area because this is where we've heard stuff happen.
Yeah.
It's showing full power, so that's really cool. Hey Shane.
Yeah.
This thing's been working.
The whole time?
Yeah. So I am gonna take it because I want to place it somewhere else, but
That's way cool.
dude, I'm like excited because last time we were here I was really disappointed.
You can even review it here, can't you?
Yeah, I got my laptop. We'll probably look at it when we get out of here.
Well, I'm thinking, Chris, about putting the stand right here on this tree.
Why not?
That way, I'm away from camp, kind of covering a different kind of area.
Oh, this is where shit happens, dude. Excuse me.
And I like that tree.
This will probably get redeployed. It might get redeployed here, but kind of will look at some better. That's the problem in here. There's not a lot of places where you have a good view. There is a place down in the ravine me and Shane found earlier this spring, but it's such a pain to get to. We wanted to put something down there that we knew could soak for a long time, and this might be it now that if it's working right, I might be putting it down there. So it's actually, you got almost 50 yards worth of view, which that's a long ways in here.
Yeah.
I mean, usually you don't have 5 feet to see.
Oh, dude, it's so dense.
Yeah. The hope is, you would think like a 8-foot tall gorilla-like thing come walking through here, you might get a headshot or something. It's, you've got to try, because I hear some people that don't even try, and it's like, no, you got to try.
Shane brought with him a tree stand that he intended to deploy that night for the purpose of using a thermal imager to scan the area below NA1B.
Obviously, I'll be tied in for viewership, but
Oh.
it's a good little workout.
It'd be a good ab workout.
Oh man, I could oversee tons from here.
Yeah, you don't have to go up very high right here.
I'll get up a little high, a little bit. Yeah, you can go as high as you feel comfortable.
They recommend you don't go higher than 20 feet.
Yeah.
That's how people die. But that chair is really comfortable. I've spent the night in it, by the way.
Really?
Yeah, I'll never do it again, but
So basically, I'll fix the angle on it. If you sit here, I got my therm. I think I'll go a little bit higher. I think it needs to be just a little bit higher. But I like.
and the backrest goes up against the tree.
Yeah, of course, yeah. But that's the gist of this.
Shane would return later that night to scan the area under the cover of darkness.
You know, the NAWAC, North American Wood Ape Conservancy, Alton Higgins a long time ago started putting string traps up, and that's how they were able to do Take 7. They were figuring out where these things were moving, and so I took that idea and I ran black thread this tree right here back to the tree Rebecca's standing next to, and I had it tied to that tree about 7.5, 8 feet up. Nothing touched it for 6 months, and then finally we came in one day and it was gone. And so I was like, okay. And the way you tie one end so it's secure, and the other end you loosely wrap it on a branch, and you leave a little belly in it, so like if a bird bumps it or whatever, it's not going to release, but something has to walk through it at that height. And at that height, it's high enough that deer's not going to set it off, bear's not going to set it off. Well, that entire string trap was gone. We didn't know where it went. So I replaced it with some monofilament line, and then I actually made some little burrs in hopes that it would drag through whatever ran through it and grab some hair. I set the one with the burr back up here in the winter time. I don't remember exactly what month. I'd have to look at my notes, but we came in, it was about 4 or 5 months later, I want to say it was, and I'd recorded it. I consistently record heavy movement through here and suspicious vocalizations and suspicious knocks. But we came in, me and Rebecca, and it was down. It was tied off secure to that, so it'd been pulled through and it was down and it was going that direction. So whatever walked through it, drug it through here. Nothing was on the burr. We looked, but whatever hit it got tangled up in it, dropped it here, and when I was pulling it, looking through it, I found the black thread. So the black thread that had been up prior that went missing, it was in the same spot. So whatever came through the same path within a 6-month period and knocked a string trap down that was 8 feet up, 7.5, 8 feet up. And like I said, this is consistently the area where we get the most suspect vocalizations, the most suspect knocking. So it's kind of cool. I need to set some more. The hope is I'd like to get some hair or something to put with the audio. That's the whole point. It's just the audio is great, but I want more. I want more, whether we get film or thermal or more corroborating evidence. What is cool though, last year, the finger between here and the old nest site, we cast a print. So there's something about this area they like.
How I film.
In May of 2022, Shane, Chris, Rebecca, and Todd visited the nest area in search of any corroborating evidence to the startling audio they had recorded. It is in this footage that Rebecca's talents, not only as a documentarian, but as a wildlife videographer, shine, as she takes time to appreciate the other creatures that inhabit the nest area.
So we just came down the hill, and let's see. Jane,
We're at mouse camp.
do you want to go stand over?
Actually, yeah, right over here, where Eli made friends with a small little rodent.
Forest
Mouse.
friends. Yeah, we haven't camped down here since. We're hiking down in. We've been leaving this area alone, and we're hiking down in. We're camping up on the hill, so we'll see how this goes.
Oh, actually, you know what? Yeah. Toe. No. That's kind of interesting.
That heel is what gets me. That's not a bear heel.
When I like the flex,
Mm-hmm.
you know, like a hand almost.
Dude, that's our target subject.
Well,
That was done recently too.
you can tell from the heel.
That is not that old.
So we're definitely gonna bring a blind out here.
This is not that old at all. You want to cast it? I don't know. About the only thing we're going to get, we'll get the heel. I don't know if it's going to cast.
Right.
Dude, that's our target subjects right there.
Todd has bled for Bigfoot.
Yeah. Bloody hell.
Blood, sweat, and tears in this nest area.
No gloves, no gators.
No glory.
We were looking at that track. It's hard to tell. I mean, it was very fresh. It's made in the last 24 hours. I guarantee that. The heel was very prominent. It was not a bear heel. And then Todd scanned it, and the scan, when he turned it to the sideways profile, I was like, no, we're casting this. I wasn't going to cast it, but as soon as I saw the profile, you could see the toes, you could see the mid-tarsal break, and you could see the heel plainly. We decided to go ahead and cast it, so we'll pull it probably tomorrow morning. It'll probably be set up by this evening, but I don't care.
How much?
All of it. We'll just do all of it.
Watch, we're gonna find a pristine
Whoever
one out
created
there.
the cast, no doubt, was watching us last night. And then, of course, you guys heard some vocalizations while I was setting up the SM4. So, but yeah, that 3D scan app is just awesome.
Yeah, he's got it done, or not done, but.
In addition to finding a footprint in the area where much of the suspected Sasquatch vocalizations have occurred, the other amazing aspect of this find was the experienced development of technology. With modern smartphones now being able to do 3D scans with integrated LiDAR technology, Sasquatch researchers are able to collect data in a way that was virtually impossible just a few years ago.
That's
I
why I
know.
changed my mind. He showed me that, and I was
Look at
like,
that.
we're casting it.
Wow.
Look at that
wow.
profile.
That is freaking cool.
Oh.
Oh my god.
Tell me about a mid-tarsal break.
Holy crap.
Now watch if I flip
You can
it.
see toes there too.
Look at it.
Sometimes if I do, I
I'm
need
gonna
to
flip
do
it this way.
pretty
It's kind of hard to maneuver.
The toes,
Could've
though,
happened
where the
last night.
toes would
It
be.
could have happened last
Look at
night.
that.
I
It's
know.
not. I mean, if
It
it was
wouldn't
just a
surprise me if it did
random
happen.
impression.
You can see them right there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Well, I mean, wonder what else is back here.
I bet you anything it did happen last night, because that was fresh as
After allowing the casting material to dry for a few days, they returned to the site to pull it from the ground.
Close going.
This heel's freaking awesome, dude. That's not a bear heel. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, it looks like it's 3D cast. 3D app.
Well, let's say that is definitely a toe right there. The others can't. That's probably a toe. The toes are showing up, but what's really impressive is the heel.
Right.
How deep that heel went.
I was gonna give you a high five.
High five.
Good job, guys.
You got toes here, but that heel impression, and looking at just the pictures or looking at it from above, you couldn't tell how deep this heel was. So whatever did it had a lot of weight and came down hard in the ground. So we cast it. And that was maybe 50 yards from where me and Rebecca camped that weekend. And it happened, it was really fresh when we found it. It was very fresh.
It was very fresh, and like Chris said, we were kind of hiking through the Huckleberry, very thick area, going uphill, and I just happened to see one impression leading off into the Huckleberry, and that was this impression. Like Chris said, it was very fresh.
It was on a hill like this.
And what intrigued me was the heel. You may got a couple toes. I mean, the 3D scan that Todd had done is way more impressive than this cast.
Yeah.
The thing with these, you know, these impressions here, these tracks, they're almost always found, the vast majority of them are found off trail.
Yeah.
They're in the thick stuff where I'm sure they don't, you know, there's a lot of ideas out there to Sasquatch cover their tracks. I don't think they need to cover them. They're careful where they step. And if they're going through that thick Huckleberry and that thick Salal, you're not going to find them unless you go through that stuff. So it's a miracle sometimes when you actually come across one of these impressions.
I think with this one, there's a strong possibility it was up there as we were starting to come up that finger, because it was, not only was it so fresh, the only reason it would make such deep impression is if it was in a hurry to get out of there. So that's a possibility, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
While the cast itself does not preserve details like the 3D scan, it demonstrates the importance of having multiple tools and not relying on any singular method for evidence collection. Each method of collection builds upon another. From audio to 3D scans to physical casts, each plays a role in creating a more complete picture of the Sasquatch phenomenon. But, as we'll see time and time again, no system is infallible.
I'm gonna miss it
Why are you upset?
because I forgot to charge the you-know-what batteries.
That's funnier than me just bleeping it out. That's just...
A simple mistake like forgetting to charge batteries can lead to critical pieces of equipment remaining non-operational during an outing.
It was nice.
It was nice.
Rebecca, the AGM's charged. You can use that.
Thank you.
Do you remember how to use it?
Yeah, I still don't have a spot picked out there. The huckleberry's too thick, so I might have
She's
to
gonna
go a
get
little
in her
deeper.
ghillie suit and start monitoring us.
Well, there's a really good spot right over there next to
Yeah, it's all a buzz, I hear.
the bug.
You're gonna get into your ghillie suit?
Yeah,
Why?
to see if I can blend in, and maybe something that isn't here yet. If something's not close by watching us, maybe it won't see me and on the approach.
Then you'll jump out and scare it?
You'll get it on therm.
Hopefully
Oh.
get it on therm.
Shortly thereafter, Chris headed back to his vehicle to attempt to charge his batteries, and Shane left for the tree stand. I ran into Chris on his way back, and what he had to say was surprising.
Things aren't charging on my truck. We're gonna have to take them to Shane's house tomorrow morning or something to have them charge on the wall. But
Alright.
I got one up to 75%, one up to 50%, one's at 40%. But with the extra battery packs, they should go most of the night. I set up the one right here pointed down that way. And it was like literally right over here. And Shane had just, he's down by the tree stand by the time I heard it. It was just right over the edge.
Huh.
and then there was a little brush movement. Who knows? I'm not gonna say it's a Bigfoot,
Yeah.
but it's just creepy when it's dusk and you hear something like that and it's calm out.
Yeah. You have any theories as to why they knock?
Usually we don't pick up on it. I think most people don't hear it, you know.
Mm.
And 9 times out of 10 when we're out here, you know, there's been stuff I've reviewed my head recorder just because we heard a knock, and then when I reviewed the recorder, I was like, holy crap, there's a vocal there too. Or, you know, or nothing, and Rebecca will say she heard something, or Shane will say he heard something, and I didn't hear anything, and I'll go back and review the audio, and it was like, oh yeah, there's a couple of these knocks, and then there's a whoop that I didn't hear, you know. So we get so focused, and even when we're out here and we're looking for these things, we're usually talking amongst each other, having fun, and we don't hear it. That's why I always wear the head recorder. While I was setting up a therm on the back trail towards where Shane just went, I heard clear, crisp knock just in the ravine. Was that you guys?
No.
No,
Well,
it couldn't have been you guys, because it would have been,
just one noise.
no, there's a knock, and then a little bit later there was some brush movement. But it was straight down for me, which would have been on the other side of that finger.
You're gonna have to check your audio recorder because he announced the time. He threw 3 big logs that were right here next to
But
the
it was
tent.
3 logs. It was those
That's
ones that were
still,
leaning up
I
right
might have
here.
only heard, that's the thing, I might have heard just one.
I think it was at 7:45. Yeah.
That's about the time. So that's what I heard.
No, there's 3 right here. Toss them out. I didn't
I
want to
bet
have
you
a
that's what I
tent
heard.
full of logs at night.
I bet you that's what I heard. Because that, you never know how sound's going to carry around here. I have
3.
this on my head recorder, so we'll see when I review the audio.
Audio's running here, so you can.
Yeah. We can compare. We're going to set up a thing.
I want to get another one.
I kind of want to get the top of that finger over there, but this tree's going to be right in my way.
Mm.
That's the thing, you only got so much view. That's why I have multiple, kind of try to place them all over. Tomorrow we might do something different. The goal is to have them all around our camp to catch different angles of approach. And since we possibly heard something coming from that finger over there, that's why I'm putting this one up.
Is that the ridge that Mouse Camp is on? Or
No, that's 2 fingers over. That finger over there is where the biggest nest was found. We call it Fresh Camp.
Got you.
See you guys later.
Good luck out there, Rebecca.
Thank you.
Don't slip.
Yeah, be careful.
Oh,
You're cutting that, right? No.
nope, that's staying in. You gonna set up that last thermal?
Yeah, I'm gonna hold on to it, and before we go to bed I'll set it up. Got one up on the trail, on our back trail where Shane's posted up, and he just heard movement up there, and that's the trail where I'm recording a lot of stuff in the first place. And then I got the one pointed on the finger, and then this one before we go to bed, I'm just gonna hold on to this one for right now, and then before we go to bed I'll probably set it up looking down into this ravine somewhere. I'm just getting stuff out, so when I'm ready to do that I don't have to fumble around as much.
So what's our plan for now?
Just hang out, laugh, be
Belligerent.
yeah, act like we don't know anything's going on, because You know, if we're acting all sneaky and quiet, it's like we know something might be up. So if they're around, you know, that's basically what we do.
So you think that's the best tactic?
I think it's one tactic that works. It's worked for us in the past, but I also think stealth, if you look at a lot of the reports back east and down south, turkey hunters and guys in tree stands have a lot of sightings. So the NAWAC's approach, I think, works. They've had success in the last couple or 10 years or so with sightings themselves. So, you know, I think there's multiple ways to do this around here. Coming into an area that people don't normally camp in, and then just being loud humans a lot of times will attract attention. And that's kind of what we do. Usually hike a lot during the day, stir it up, and then come back to camp and just be campers.
So following the plan of action, we settled in for a relaxed evening of conversation.
Wes flew out from England and was spending, I think he was out here for 3 weeks. And he'd never been here, so of course we brought him in. And we took him down to the original nest site. And you know, I lugged that DSLR camera around, and I hate lugging it around, but it's like, you lug it around for a reason. And we got to Mouse Camp, which is above the original nest site. Well, Shane, Rebecca, and Wes, they went down to where the nest had been to show Wes, and I just stayed up at Mouse Camp. And I set my backpack down, and I set the camera down next to it. I grabbed a bottle of water, and I walked 20 feet away, and I started looking up the ridge, and I was following. I could see where the light shined and opened up to where the finger ended. The finger we were on ended, and then it would go down into the ravine. Anyways, I was following that edge down.
Daytime?
Yeah, it was, I don't know, it was not quite noon yet, I don't think. I think it was around 10 or 11 in the morning. Excuse me. And I'm coming down, and I come to this spot that's just black. I mean, it's black bear black. And it's up against a tree. And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, that's gotta be a burnout stump. But it didn't match the shadows. It didn't match anything else. And then if you look around, you don't see a lot of burnout stump in here. But it's black, and I'm looking at it, and it's up against a tree, and it looks like part of a head and part of a shoulder, and it's like it's hugging the tree. And it's about 2 to 3 feet above the huckleberry, and we know the huckleberry is anywhere from 6 to 9 feet tall in here.
Mm-hmm.
And I sat there and I stared at that thing for at least a minute. It seemed like longer, but it was at least a minute, trying to talk myself into, that's not what I think it is. And it did not move whatsoever. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to go back, I'm going to grab my camera, and I'm going to zoom in on it, and it's going to be an optical illusion. It's going to be a dead tree or something against this other tree. I'm staring at this thing for a good solid minute. I finally am like, I'm going to grab my camera, come back, zoom in on it, and I zoom in, and it's gone. And now I'm mad. My instant reaction was, I'm mad. Because I carry that damn camera around for exactly this scenario. And Rebecca comes up the trail about almost the exact same time, and she just looks at me and she goes, what's wrong? Because she could just see on my face I was mad. And I start telling her what happened, and she starts videoing me with her phone. I left my zoom camera over by the bag, and I had my bottle of water, and I was standing here drinking water, and I noticed a dark shape up against a tree that looked like head and shoulders. And it was up there, but I figured it was stump. So I went back to get my camera with the zoom lens to come over and zoom in on it and confirm it was a stump, and it's gone. I can't rule out that maybe I'm looking at the wrong angle, but whatever I saw was distinctly, it was dark, almost black.
Do you want to stand right back where you were when
I saw it?
Yeah.
I'm guessing I was right about here. But I can't tell which tree I was looking at. It was such a distinctive figure. I knew I would see it again when I came over here, and I'm not seeing it. It's not there.
I'm not seeing it. Whoop, not seeing anything either that's
And it was
stump
well
squatchy.
above the huckleberry. Well above the huckleberry. At least 3 feet above the huckleberry. And I get about 2 to 3 minutes into telling her, and there's a knock from that direction.
Yeah, there's nothing stump squatchy up there too, so. Oh, please tell me my phone picked that up. It's directly in front of you, directly behind me.
It
Don't.
was that way. I heard a little brush movement down there, but she heard something. It sounded like something moving through the Huckleberry Way. Well, then about that time, Wes and Shane finally come up, and we kind of regroup and talk about what I saw. And Shane tries to walk out there. Yeah, if you keep going, if you went back another 50, 60 feet from where you are, Shane, straight back, that's about where it would probably have been.
Yeah, you can barely even see him back in there now. Keep going.
You don't have to if you don't want to, but it was, I can't tell where you're at. It was okay. It was a little further than that, Shane.
Okay, I'm just curious.
You know what? That's where the ridge starts right there.
It was right where the ridge starts. That's where it was.
Where's that?
Where the ridge starts over there. For the other ravine?
Yeah.
Yeah, whatever it was at least 4 or 5 feet taller than you.
I was gonna say, I'm standing on a branch. I'm standing on a limb. I'm 2 feet off the ground. And I kick myself now. We should have just forced it and went out there to the spot, but we didn't, because in the back of my mind, I'm still thinking I didn't see what I thought I saw. I was making up excuses for it to not be what we think it was. And Shane got out there about 50 yards. He wasn't quite to the spot, but he had to hold up his hat so we could see where he was at. And it was so thick, he was having problems. He's falling down. He came back, and and whatever I saw was a good 2 feet to 3 feet above the huckleberry. I don't know, because we didn't go to the exact spot what the ground looked like. But it was typical. It looked like it was hugging the tree, and it was gone when I went to look at it with the camera, and there was a knock afterwards, and we heard movement going away from us. So
You didn't see any facial.
no, it was just because, like I said,
blob.
it was more than 50 yards. It was less than 100 yards, but it was more than 50 yards, and it was all I saw was just black, and it just looked like the head and a shoulder up against the tree. This one, I kind of, because I have audio that goes with it, I tend to lean towards it was probably one of them, and it moved as soon as I looked away. But either way, it's not the kind of sighting you'd go.
Yeah.
It's not the one you want. You know, I want the sighting where I get a picture of it too. So
As the night wore on, Chris discussed openly his frustrations with the current state of Sasquatch research and his desire for higher quality investigation.
the vast majority of people that are going out calling themselves Bigfoot researchers are going out in the field to have experiences. They're not going out to collect actual data. If even a fraction of the people went out to collect data, such as tracks, audio, hair, visual, photographs, thermal, what have you, if that was their goal, the subject would be much further ahead than it is. It's not that the subject's not advanced, it's just that hardly anybody's actually putting the time and effort into collecting data. Everybody's going out to have an experience so they can go on a podcast and tell everybody about their experience. Well, great. And then the people that are, a lot of people are taking audio. That's my gig, but that's not what I'm all about. I'm about all of it, collecting as much data, supportive data as you possibly can. But I hear audio all the time where it's a coyote or it's an owl, and people use that as, with their confirmation bias, like I was just talking about. Oh, that's a Bigfoot mimicking a coyote. That's a Bigfoot mimicking an owl. We know they mimic. No, we don't know. I've never heard anything that would lead me to believe that they mimic a barred owl. Never. And when I hear that, it drives me nuts. I'm very much aware that I have confirmation bias a lot myself. Everybody's susceptible to it. When we're out here, I hear stuff. My mind wants it to be Bigfoot. And I keep my own mind in check as much as possible, because if I can't verify it, and I've really got to look at what I'm hearing, like if I hear something, my mind wants it to be Bigfoot, and it'll become Bigfoot in my own mind. But when I get home and look at the recording in spectrograph, it's like, no, that's not what that was. And half the time, like I said before, I think I hear something. When I look at it in spectrograph, there's either nothing there, or it's obviously a squirrel or a freaking coyote or something completely explainable. But when I was in the field, in the moment, I was like, oh shit, we got a Bigfoot here. So that's why I'm huge on recording audio and taking field notes. I always take field notes. But also be aware of your own bias, because everybody is susceptible. You're going out in the woods looking for a freaking 8-foot tall hairy ape, and everything you hear is going to be that 8-foot tall hairy ape if you don't keep yourself in check. If that makes sense.
Let me ask you, when you find yourself frustrated, how do you get over it? How do you get past it?
I just put my nose down and keep doing what I do. I start reviewing audio. And, it's about the subject for me. I don't care about the people. I mean, I care about people, but I don't care about the vast majority of the stuff going on in the subject. I mean, I have good friends. I have Shane, Rebecca, and Todd, and then Wes over, and Wes gives me pep talks pretty much daily, because we talk about the spreadsheet, and it's what we're doing is important. It'll be important to the right people someday. I don't expect to prove anything. I just want to see actual data collected that can be used someday by someone smarter than me.
Yeah.
That's what I focus on. I don't focus on, I'd go on rants all the time, but at the end of the day, I focus on what I'm doing and don't worry about what everybody else is doing.
Right.
No, you're going to edit all of that out, please. No.
As the night grew ever later, people began to trickle slowly back.
Rebecca, you're back.
Oh,
How'd it go?
there was a lot of wind. Excuse me, it made it hard to... I've needed to cough for the last hour. There's a lot of wind, so it's hard to hear anything. Couldn't really hear you guys up here unless you were laughing really hard.
It's crazy how the sound travels around here.
Yeah, it actually stayed pretty quiet. But the thermal didn't go as far as I was hoping it was going to. So I had a window excuse me, above the huckleberry and then below where the ridge was.
Right.
But I think I filmed an owl and another bird in the trees, but nothing else that...
However, soon after Rebecca's return, a thermal signature was seen on the top of the hill.
Whatever it is behind bushes.
Gotcha.
Behind bushes?
Anyway, so it's moving.
Keep talking.
I'm filming, so.
Anyways,
We tried to keep the conversation going as most everyone attempted to film whatever was walking around the edge of our camp.
it's gotta be Shane. It's Shane.
Yeah, Shane.
Mother. He's therming us.
us.
He's therming us. You jerk. Shane! We see you!
You guys are noisy though, man. I can hear you guys laughing.
That's
good.
the point, isn't
Like,
it?
but it was like, are they laughing? I couldn't really quite tell.
We were laughing at you.
Yes.
Good.
That guy has a small head.
Like beetle.
We all just had partial shots of you, so we didn't know if it was you or not. And
Oh, I wasn't trying to be inconspicuous. I dropped my headlamp.
Are you serious?
Did it break?
No, I found it. I'm trying to be incognito, be quiet.
Well, is that what
I was supposed to text you, trust me, I was. And I was like, I was up there and it was so quiet. The wind finally died down.
Yes.
As I got out of the tree stand. But then I was just like, dang, it's quiet. I should go back up there. But I'm like, I'm falling asleep. or literally was. I was falling asleep up there.
That chair looks pretty comfy.
Oh, it was too comfy. And it was just like, when Chris left the trail, I heard something moving. You jumped something. I don't know, probably a deer.
I don't know, dude, because so as soon as you took off, I started looking for where to set that therm up.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, when I decided where I have it, I had just gotten, not even 5 minutes had passed since you left me. And it was directly down towards the ravine, but it wasn't that far away from me. It was it was a knock. It wasn't, I have it recorded. We'll listen to it tomorrow. But I'm like, no way. And I sat there for a minute, and then I heard kind of some brush movement.
Yeah, I heard that. I thought some of these guys were coming back towards me. I was like, that's why I texted you. I said, hey, somebody coming towards me?
But see, when you text me, that's 20 minutes after I'd heard what I'd heard.
Yeah. And I was hearing movement. I never saw anything. But then that went on. Never saw it. And
Might have been a bear.
could have been. I was just shocked I didn't see it on my therm.
Yeah.
I was scanning everywhere, and I had great visibility.
With the way these berries are, it wouldn't surprise me if I spooked a bear or something.
No, there was some big brush movement. It was a deer, at least a deer or something. It wasn't like a rabbit or anything, but yeah, and after that, nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Unfortunately for us, Shane was the most exciting thing to happen in camp all night. However, this is often the case with Sasquatch research. 99% of the time, you find nothing. And even when you do think you hear something, you're often wrong, as I soon learned the following morning.
I'm recording now.
There was no Bigfoot out last night, Eli.
So aggressive.
There was a Shane Corson.
Shane was responsible for all the noises.
Shane was responsible for trying to sneak up on us and trick us. And yeah, no, there was nothing out last night.
That's a bummer.
All the audio is inconclusive. I suspect Eddie spooked a deer or something.
When he was throwing
Yeah.
logs.
Yeah, because what I heard, there's brush crash closer to me than you guys, but I think it's something that got spooked, because I did pick up one of the thuds from you guys because it's distant. I can see that it's distant. I can hear that it's distant. And then what happened close to me, I think, was just an animal being spooked by Eddie throwing logs in the bushes. I wish I could say it was Bigfoot, but I'm going to say it's a 99.9% chance it was not Bigfoot. 99.9999999. There was no Bigfoot here.
Okay. Well,
I'm
we're
sorry.
It's all right. Well, we're trying a new spot, aren't we?
You got to pay us more money and we'll produce a Bigfoot for you.
More tamales for Shane.
Tamales! Get us tamales and we'll have a Bigfoot for you tonight.
Telling you.
Does that sound like a deal, Shane?
It's all about the tamale.
While our conversation was lighthearted, I was thoroughly impressed with Chris's ability to admit that he was wrong. To admit that his own senses and his own confirmation bias had led him to believe there was something, when in reality, there was no evidence to support it. It is researchers like Chris Spencer and the rest of the Olympic Project that we need more of. People who document meticulously, who analyze their data, people who search for corroborating evidence, and most importantly, admit that they're wrong. It is this attitude that treats not only the subject, but the researchers themselves with respect, and gets us to the proper road to discovery.